Alright, welcome everyone. We're doing another book review today. This is it's a really unusual book, even for, the subject of chaos magic, and I'm going to kind of talk about why that is and what I got from it, upon reading it 5 years ago, more recently, and all of that. Okay, so, the unique thing about this book is that it has a lot of DKMU leanings without... I wouldn't classify it as a DKMU book, because even though it talks a lot about the core system of the DKMU, it's kind of its own standalone book. In fact, the only reason I know about the DKMU is because of this book, and applying the more applicable sides of things to my own practice. So for those of you who aren't privy to what the DKMU is, it's a highly individualistic chaos magic organization that has their own egregores and goal, that goal being to, as they term it, lead the assault on reality, which can mean anything from challenging the status quo to challenging the very concept of reality. And granted, that's not for everybody, but I'm not gonna lie, just reading about the core philosophies of the DKMU really helped me conceptualize what I want out of my own practice. And the reason why this book is so helpful is because it touches on things like trances, especially trances in lucid dreaming and out-of-body experiences and stuff like that. But it's also like a fairly philosophical book in thinking how the dominant paradigms work. And I think this is also a useful book for people who are just getting into chaos magic, because in the back of the book there are suggestions for what books you should read. I have not read all of them, but of the ones I have read, I think for somebody who wants to primarily focus on chaos magic, it's a very useful list of books. Some of them you might even reference often. And these are the main reasons why I suggest this book. I touched a little bit upon this slide in the last one, but I wouldn't recommend this book for just anybody who practices chaos magic. I would recommend it for people who on kind of the more philosophical side of it. For example, the people who are more likely to seek up Spar for further inspiration, how to conceptualize reality, rather than keep reading Carroll. And I'm not saying that Spar is better than Carroll or vice versa, but I am saying that each individual has a specific spin on the paradigm we now know as chaos magic that I think people would be wise to consider, and this book is very much more in the vein of Spar than Carol, because not only of how often it references Spar and actually uses some of Spar's concepts, such as neither, but also just the very fact that it does take a lot from Carol, because Carol is the one who established chaos magic as a name, but the methods of how this book challenges the reader is more Spar-like in nature. That being said, I think this book would be useful for people who have books on chaos magic already and have established at least how they prefer to practice. It's not going to be for somebody who just got into chaos magic, but if you are a beginner who's been practicing for a while, you're going to get a little more out of it than intermediate practitioners, unless you're just starting to dip your toes into the intermediate level stuff. Because lucid dreaming is a fairly intermediate practice, in my opinion, just because of how much experimentation you have to do. But also because of... That is a very loud car. But also because of the fact that it's more experimental. I feel like it's for people who know what they would prefer already, in comparison to people who are just starting their experimentations, if you get what I'm trying to say. And that is my verdict on that. Thank you for watching or listening. If you like what you see, at the very least consider subscribing. I try to post a new video every other Saturday, and I hope to see you around.